And we're back. And like normal, we're going to get right on into it. I am Ralph the coach, certified life coach, and I'm here with my lovely friend.
Candy from Candy Conversations.
She forgot who she was.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we're doing things differently. As you can see, you don't see us, but you hear us. So maybe that's throwing
Mhm.
her off too. But
It is.
Candy has something special for you guys.
I do. So, hello, beautiful people. If you missed the invite only Candy Conversation party, just take a deep breath. It's okay. You're still right on time. We created a space for honesty, laughter, healing, and a little real talk with heart. We're sharing the convo with you here. So, go ahead and listen to the audio. Take what you need and leave a little love in the comments for us. And as you already know, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, so you stay tapped into this growing community. Another Candy Conversation is on the way virtually. So stay grounded, stay open, and I'll see you soon. I have a topic that I'm going to start with, but if you have questions that you would like us to cover, we can. But of course, I'm going to start so that we can actually get the conversation going. So that being said, um, we're going to start by talking about relationships versus situationships and like the benefits of them, the downside. Um, is it okay to be in one? Like what changes happen when you go from one to the other? So again, anything that you want to say about um, relationships versus situationships. First of all, like what is your idea of a situationship? What does that mean to you?
Just to define for me, relationship is a communicated agreement that we go together, right? So, we're doing this thing, we are committed to, well, for the most part, we're committed to each other and we're willing to grow together and also have fun, go out, dates, whatever, right, etc. To me, a situationship is we're going to play house. So we're going to do all the things a relationship does. It's just that I don't have to be committed to you. So at any time, if I want to step out, I can step out and say, hey, we don't go together. So that's my definition of what a situationship is versus a relationship.
I was always under the impression that I was always under the impression that a situationship is nothing but a fancy way of saying friends with benefits,
Mhm.
with an exchange of monetary resources every once in a while.
Hmm.
Explain.
Well, some people, you know, they want to be paid for their time, and you have some. And I'm not saying it's like a prostitution or anything like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you you have some people because it goes both ways
Yeah.
because some guys do it, but they will be with this person for monetary reasons, but they won't be committed in a relationship.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I understand now.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
guess that's a problem.
when the money cuts off, they gone.
So that's one type of situationship because you could also be in a situationship that doesn't even involve money at all. Like if you got your own bag, you don't want you could just want the sex. Like that, let's just keep it all the way real. Like that's some people just want companionship. I don't want but if on a particular day I decide I don't want to keep you company no more, hey, we don't have titles. So it really just I think that's just one type of situationship, the whole
Well,
money
well,
situation.
I'm gonna go ahead and blend because sometimes you can still have your own bag and still don't want to spend your money. And so
That's true too.
you are there. I'm. This is my bag, but if we're going to be doing this, then I'm going to be taking from your bag. So
That's true.
I mean, that there is, and then I really don't. I only can speak from a female point of view, but if I know I don't really rock with you like that, but I know you that dude with that money, and I'm like, I don't want you as my man. Yeah, I'm gonna play my role, and every time we go somewhere, I don't got no pocketbook.
Yeah.
But I know he really liked me. I know he really liked me. He got good sex, and he got a lot of money.
Anybody else want to chime in on this?
I think the situationship, like you said, like there's different types of situationships, because it could be monetary, it could be companionship, it could be what's it called? Just somebody to talk to. It's just different types. And I think you can have different types, be in different types of situationships with the same person. Kind of. But like Raph said, like it's, if we decide, like if I decide I don't want to lay up with you tomorrow, like we don't have no title, we can just part ways, versus next week, oh, you coming over, I cook you dinner, and then you go back home. Or I call you in 2 days for a friends with benefits type of situation. So, but at any time, I'm seeing who I want to see, you seeing who I want to see. We don't have no type of commitment.
But is that discussed? Because I think for me, situationships sometimes can be, what are we defining who we are when it's taking too long to define that, right? So if it's taking too long, then it kind of defaults to what Raphael said. Well, let me see what I can get. Because at this point, you ain't telling me nothing. And so let me see what I can get out this, because it's taking, I don't know what we doing. So why waste your time, you know?
Let me give spirit fingers to that, because I love that you basically said that you're not going to make an assumption. And a lot of times we find ourselves in situations because of assuming that a person is, you know what I'm saying? So like, say it with your chest. You ain't even got to say it with your chest. Just say it.
Right.
So that, you know, they're like, the assumption about what it is doesn't have to be made. I think, Ralph, I'm about to pick on you, because you made a comment in our in one of our conversations about why people find comfort in situationships. Something along the lines of that.
Well, it's a lot of reasons, but
like, I guess why they won't do the relationship is what.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of reasons, but because no one talks about, it's nothing to be talked about like in the house, but you know, your attachment style. So if you're avoidant, you know what I'm saying, if you're anxious, being committed to someone is like how you look at it. So you may get in a relationship with somebody who you always feel like they pushing you away. But the moment you feel like, okay, I'm about to break and I don't want to do this no more with you, then they like all of a sudden now they're lovey-dovey. They're pulling you back in. But the moment things are start getting serious, and not serious in a bad way, but like serious in a good way, like moving forward, you know, you're doing things, then it feels like they're pushing you away again. You're like, okay, look, what are we doing?
Right.
And it's because now they're anxious, because it's like, anytime somebody gets close to me, they hurt me. So you're getting close to me and you keep getting closer to me. So I have to push you away to see. So, because when you finally do leave, you hear people say, I knew you were going to leave anyway.
Right.
You were going to do it anyway. Same thing with avoiding, like just they're looking for that shoe to drop. I want you there, but that also I want to protect myself. So then I'm not all the way locked in, and I can't be all the way locked in, but they don't know that. They just know I can't get got. Right. And so I might just do situationships just so I can protect myself.
Right.
Because if the moment I get locked in with this person, they're going to cheat on me. They're going to leave me. They're going to find somebody. So I like it just right here.
Yeah.
Like right here. Or you'll find some people, like I used to a long time ago. I used to date a guy. And you know how when we're in our 20s and we talk to guys and be like, oh, well, what was your last relationship like? You know what I'm saying? And I started noticing a pattern that he get to the 6 months mark and then they breaking up. Right? We got to our 6 month mark we breaking up. He
Gotcha.
when things start getting serious, it's just like I need to focus. And it wasn't like it's just like out of the blue. It's kind of like his clock said it's time.
Gotcha.
Because if we go
He
any
didn't even
further,
realize that it was happening.
yes, like if we
Mhm.
go any further, I'm giving her at any moment a chance to hurt me.
Okay.
So this was fun. You did your time. Now you got to go. So, but like I said, you know, people for a lot of reasons, but I do feel some of it is insecurity in being vulnerable in a relationship, because a lot of people are in relationships,
Mhm.
and I think, you know, some of us can speak. I don't know how your marriages were, but for the ones who are, it's a couple of us divorced on here. People will get in marriages and still not be vulnerable with their partner, right? And so that's a level of taking your skin off and showing your soul that a lot of people aren't willing to do, because I have to protect myself. Because y'all, I'm not saying I trust this person. If I married them, I'm doing life with them, I'm in a relationship with them, I let them watch my kids. It's like whatever level of relationship, I let them drive my car, I let them stay at my house when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to Candace's house real quick. Oh, babe, you don't have to go nowhere. I trust them in all these levels, but I don't trust them to show them my soul. And to me, I said, make it make sense. How can you trust me to drive your car? How can you trust me with your debit card or whatever the case may be, but you won't trust me to know when you're hurting? You don't trust me enough to say, hey, I need this. You don't trust me enough to say, I desire these things.
So let's shift it a little bit now. And I'm gonna start putting the questions in the chat. That way, just in case you don't hear it or whatever, somebody comes in, the next question is, do you believe in soulmates or the one? I would say yes, but that doesn't mean that's the person you end up with, which is crazy, but you know, I do believe, yeah, yes. The whole one that got away, that's real for some people. Because then it goes back to like, you know, are you ready? Timing, all that stuff. But that's just my opinion. But you know, anybody else? Do you believe in soulmates or the one?
I'll jump in. So I don't think soulmates are exclusive to gender for a person. Because I think there's some lifelong friendships you can have that are soulmate
Agree.
relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like good girlfriends, things like that. So, and it doesn't have anything to do with like sexual. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do feel like two things could be true at the same time. Somebody could probably be a soulmate and the one, or neither. Like it could be the one, but they may not be, you know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like when I think of the one, and maybe because I have not met the one yet, like I'm usually like, okay, the person I thought was the one, of course, they're not the one because they're not here.
Right.
And when I think about all the reasonings behind it, I'm like, okay, they might have been the one at that moment.
Right.
But you know, looking back on it now, I'm like, ooh, dodged a bullet, you know.
Bullets.
But it felt good at the time. It felt like, oh, I can't eat, sleep, or breathe without this person or be in their presence. And now, girl, I'm doing fine. I don't have an oxygen tank. And I eat well. So we're okay, you know. But I just feel like my pastor always says puppy love is always real to the puppy. So I just think it's just one of those things when you're in the moment, it feels like,
right.
Yeah.
I love that. The one at the moment, because like I get offended when somebody hadn't talked to me in like 2-3 years and they show up as if I'm going to be the same person. Like, what you've been doing with your life that you the same? Because I'm not. Like, you know, I've changed in 2-3 years. I'm different from what I was a month ago, if I'm being real. So like, yeah, the one at the moment that tugged on me a little bit, because it's just evident that we grow and we change. And honestly, the person who I was into a year ago, 5 years ago, 6 months ago, they're all very different people because they're at different points in their life, but so was I. And I think that kind of lends itself to like the red flag part of creating these lists of what people should be or who they should be to us, because yeah, you can have standards, expectations, boundaries, but sometimes you blur the lines with, you know, who you need at that moment in your life. And their ability, do you even understand how to pick up on the fact that they're able to evolve with you or not? Like sometimes we get so excited about who people are right then that we don't realize that we're going to be evolving together possibly. But yeah, I love that. That's good.
I actually have one more thing to add, and I promise you I'm not trying to start nothing, but I was watching.
Start it.
Because we were talking about the one. I saw something about a couple weeks ago, and I actually had this conversation with somebody probably years ago. Like as relates to men, clearly I am a female, but this is just my observation. Don't want to start nothing, but I had a discussion with somebody that sometimes for men, the one is usually who's in front of them or who they're dating at the time when the scales fall away. So it may not necessarily be the love of their life, but because this female was there when they matured or got to their point of whenever, that's who they, because I've even had guys I've dated that was like, well, I think we would have been good together, but because at the time we weren't together, I was dating ex girl. I was ready. So that's who I chose. But you ain't really like her like that. But that's who you with. So quit calling me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I don't get. So that whole the one to me, sometimes I don't believe in that because I just feel like some people just choose what's convenient.
And they like in the block after that convenient.
But listen, just because it's still simple doesn't mean you can't come back this way.
What about the coupon? What about the sales staff? What you be saying about the coupon? Wait, what you say? That coupon expired?
Oh, listen, the sale is over. You should listen. That Memorial Day sale is on now, but it's not going to be on next week. So, but it's just, that's why when I hear that, I don't really think that much of it because I just from that experience, I'm like, I think for women, it's probably more so we focus on, oh, the one, and we're like solely tied into that. And for me, my perspective is men, just whoever's there at the time, and they hung in there and they're like, well, I kind of owe it to her. And she's it.
My mind is going.
You're not lying. It's most
ahead,
guys
y'all.
from all the men from being in the shop, from working in the shop. It always like that. Like a lot of times it really don't matter to us. It's just really like whoever it is right there at that time when we've been grinding or whatever. Or everything is situational to start off with. But for the most part, them men, man, we be like dog, we older to her. She was down. She was with us when we was down. So. You know what I mean? And as we grow, we all grow apart. You know what I mean? People grow apart, and people grow in different ways. So you might not like that person that they've grown to, and shit. 9 out of 10, y'all ass don't be liking us either. So it's just, I mean, this should be mutual now. That's exactly how y'all feel. We feel the same fucking way. We just don't know how to say it. We just don't know, we just deal with that shit. That's why most men that I've seen and I've noticed, now I understand why a lot of older men are old and angry. Like, I'm like, well, damn, I know why that old man old and angry as fuck now. Like, I understand that shit. Churn don't do right. Goddamn, you give all your money to this shit. Damn, I wish I could have did another thing. If I would have fucked with Mary Sue would have had me right because she over there straight. It's just a lot of men live with regrets in their head more than they do out loud. So they deal with it. So that's why they be sick and shit and all that bullshit. That you know what I mean? They be having all these fucking internal problems and shit. Because them niggas mad. Because they deal with who was there for them. Because niggas feel like they owe them something. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I can't just slide on y'all.
But
I can't do that.
Time though, not
Huh?
you can have that one that's there for you, that held you. All that.
Can't speak. Don't ask me no questions now because I don't know because
like they can have that
I'm
one
not a representative
and that's been there for years that held them down. That's the all around good girl who just was just there. But then they'll
niggas get niggas. It could be anything.
Who a year just appeared, and now all of a sudden, oh, I want to be Heather. Why you with Heather? Like I not necessarily did things for you, but like I done held you down. I've been through a lot. Even if we weren't in a relationship before, you can still go through things with people who haven't been in a relationship with that you experience stuff with.
It's
so
that timing.
Yes, it got to be the time. Because look, I'm going to keep it funky with you. I was with a girl 10 years before I married my wife. And I married my wife. I proposed to her 6 months of me knowing her.
Wow.
I know that thing been sick, boy. I know that thing been sick, boy. Shit, I've been sick. I know she been sick. I ain't know what I've been, you know what I mean? But dead ass. So it ain't, so it's that timing. And it's like, it's nothing that a female can do except be who she is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, ain't nothing a female can do to be there. Because a nigga gonna be a nigga until he, we mature late. Goddamn. And then the ones who mature early, once they get to a certain point, them niggas they ain't with it. They just ain't with messing with somebody their age or nothing like that because it's harder to keep it funky with you. It's harder to mold. A nigga feel like he get to a certain damn age, he gotta mold. He ain't got time to be going back and forth. He wanna mold something, Niggas is predators by nature. That's who the fuck we is. They don't wanna accept that shit. I be accepting that shit. I watch all them niggas at the barbershop all the time. Like, yo, all right, y'all want them low girl, cause y'all nigga can mold them low girl. Y'all don't want to talk to you. Y'all don't want to go to backstage. No, them girl grown. No, y'all want to go to low girl club. No, I straight. Niggas do that shit. So I realized that niggas is predators. But you can be able to get it out of them. You know what I mean? And you did say something, Steph. You did say something. You said something about that one moment. For them moments, shit. That's all the fuck we live for is moments, niggas. Y'all girl don't live for moments. Niggas live for moments. Most niggas. Because we don't plan nothing. That's why we end up with the one that we with that be in front of our face at that moment, at that time. Y'all girl plan y'all life far out. God damn, we go by moment at a moment.
Even if it's not the one you truly like.
Here's the thing. Men have multiple the ones and some soulmates. But when they have that soulmate and that the one in one, that's when they shut down. See, and the problem is with the phrase the one, you have a lot of guys out there that feel like they're going to tell a woman what they got to say in order to get what they want, in order to continue proceeding. Because you got a lot of guys that like to, I call it, use that peacock effect on women. And they'll show what they want to show, say what they want to say, and do what they got to do to achieve their goal. Once they achieve their goal, that one is over and they over to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got that soulmate and the one all in one, he'll shut down. And I don't care what man it is, but when a man know, and I always say this, it takes a man 30 seconds to know if he want to sleep with a woman. It take him 30 days to know if he want to marry her. So don't think no man don't know who he want to be with. When that man find that woman, he gonna shut down everything. He's gonna shut down the whole show. I promise you that. Am I lying, Steven?
Yeah, he gonna know. He gonna know. That's who he want to marry. He don't think about how long he want to marry your ass, though. I tell you that. He don't think about that because we don't think that you right, but we don't think long term.
Nope.
We think about the moments. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing that we want to marry him. But I know a lot of niggas that you said something just now. You was like, man, niggas be lying. I know a lot of niggas like grown. I don't know if you churn be lying, but as a grown man, I ain't never too much met nobody you got to lie to as a grown man. And cause excuse me, women, but a girl gonna lie to herself about you before you got to lie to her, dog. Like I ain't never too much, never seen as a grown person that a nigga should be lying to no girl, especially if she wants you. Like it'd be. You gonna mess around like it ain't no reason. What you gonna lie for? She already know everything about you. Like what the fuck?
As,
What you gonna lie to her?
I think I can talk or speak for all the women on here, they lie. They lie, all of them. And I'm not saying every man, I'm saying most men, because that's why we have, if you look at the era, I'll just say era, if you look at the era that we in right now, a lot of men are upset because before this era, men had the upper hand. Now we don't care. We want to be by ourselves. We are tired. We can do it by ourselves. From, you might as well say, almost the beginning of time until like 1980 something. We really needed y'all. Like, not want, we needed y'all. We couldn't do anything without y'all. So you could treat us like shit. You could have a baby down the street. You could like do all, you could beat us. You could rape us. You could do all of that because we couldn't have no house. We couldn't have no car. We couldn't have no bank account. We couldn't have nothing. You could spit in our face and it's like, he paid the bills. He makes sure we eat. You could do all of that. Yeah. But now we can get bank account. Now we can have our own cars. We got degrees. We don't need you to sign off. Like, there are times where a man had to sign off and say that we could get divorced. So we don't need you to do that anymore. So it's like, I don't have to keep a raggedy ass nigga and tell everybody, I've been married 10 years. I've been married 15 years. My grandparents been married 30 years. Grandma hates him.
Right.
She hates him. Couldn't wait for that man to die.
And everybody down the block related.
And everybody, I got 15 brothers and sisters. They all ain't come from
my ain't mom. Nobody, right. You can't discuss them though.
So now that we're in the era that we're in now, men are like, yeah, they be going on these trips. They be acting like they happy. No, we are happy. We are happy. And we don't have to have sex. We don't have to go on no dates. And the ones in this era that are doing it, and I hate to put it like that because they're desperate.
Yeah.
Some people just don't like to be alone. So there are going to be that few who going to stay in those marriages, who going to stay in that relationship. And then you're going to have us out here who like, I ain't got time for this shit. Like, I don't want to do it. So now the tables have turned to where the women have the upper hand, where we ain't having no more kids. You got women now who's never had a child and say, and I'm not going to have a child. Then you have women who's like, yeah, we can be together, but I ain't going to marry you.
I'm going to have your baby, but
not going to marry you.
Right.
Not going to, this might be. And so now men are like, y'all tripping. Y'all trip because they so used to having their way to where they could do anything. They could do anything. They could have a wife, a girlfriend, and a side chick. And you couldn't do anything. You had to sit there because he paid the bills. He bring home the bill. Where you going? Where are you going? Where you going with these 5 kids? Now she like, bitch, I already got a house. I already got a house.
And can we talk about it? Most women are the breadwinners.
There you go.
In most of these households, however, you can't talk about that.
No.
You can't say because you got to make them feel like they the man.
You know something? I ain't gonna lie, boy. I learned that recently, boy. I said, oh, shit. I said, boy, I counted. But I was like, wait a minute. How much you making? How much you what? How much you make? How much? I was like, damn, dog. Most of the fucking now that I know, like, most of these girls make more than these niggas down here, dog.
Because, well, especially black
women, yeah.
You got a man got you up 2 a.m. running around looking for him, and girl, you make the money. Girl, go to bed.
Go to bed.
But see that what happened?
Go to bed.
Rolling at that time.
What happened? Them boys, like most of them, I realized that most of the women that went to college, we pushed our daughters to college more than we pushed our sons.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And now we seeing the effect. You can see the, it's just it is what it is. It's like them girls got it and shit. There ain't shit you can say about it.
Got it and getting it.
And still getting it. And you got way more than these niggas that are like, what?
Hey,
so
I think Mo wanted. I keep seeing his thing turn off.
Yeah, because I'm sorry.
Did you want to say something?
Yes. Yes, you did.
No, I'm just listening right now, but I will say this to go back to when Stanford had said,
Stafford.
Stafford,
Correct.
excuse me, when
No, and in there.
Stafford,
That's okay. Thank you.
when Stafford had said, if somebody, if was you in the when I say this, because I'm trying to remember something you said that kind of
Yeah.
like bothered me. I guess you was in a relationship with someone and they were in a relationship. Someone you knew was in a relationship with somebody else. They see you after 2 or 3 years later, and then they want to say, "What's up?" But first, everybody here agreed to situational ships. When I heard the word situations, I think of a problem. When somebody says, "Oh, we have a situation," what's the situation? And normally it's a problem. So to take in categorize situation on a relationship is one, a bad thing. You're claiming it a situationship, which is going to already be problems, and that's already saying that the relationship is not going to work. I hate to go biblical in it, but I have to, because that's just who I am. So when you take and use the word situationships and put it into a relationship, it's bound for problems, because that's what you labeled it as. But then when you meet someone and they're with someone and they're in a relationship with that person and they kind of like you, but they're having a situation problem and they really don't want to be with that person, but that's also them learning themselves, and they know they're down for you and really want to be with you, and they're not with that person anymore. I do believe God bring people back in your life for a reason. So that person could be the one, but they were in that situational ship that you all kind of, labeled it, and they found themselves and learned more about themselves within, and then they realized that, hey, this is the one I should have been with, and they come back into your life to approach you, and you're single and available. Why not give that person a chance, especially if they got all the above, and they do, and you did like this person, and even if you moved on in life but you're single, why not give it a chance? Because it was ordained for them to even get back in contact with you if you are a valuable person. And I yield back. And my name is Kylie Moore, and I approve that message.
Chisvon had her hand up.
Yeah. So kind of everything you all have been saying ties into what I'm thinking, which is just getting back to the soulmate and the one. There's a difference between settling for someone and having a true connection. What I'm hearing is there's a point where I've made a decision and I want to be married. I want to be committed. What's in front of me right now, I'm settling. That's not soulmate or the one. That's a decision. Now that is important sometimes in marriage and unity and commitment, because you make a decision to stay together. You make a decision to be committed. So I'm not knocking the decision, but that's totally different from soulmate and the one, just to be quite honest, because you're making a decision and you saying that it's just she's here. So that is just pure decision. You may like her, y'all vibe. You may like him, y'all vibe. We cool. I think I can make this work based off of what we are right now. But as far as having a soulmate or feeling like you found the one, for me, that is the person where everything is organic and natural as far as our interaction and because again, men and women settle. So if I'm ever with someone and you're the person that I want to be around, and that means a lot because one, I'm an introvert. And I love myself. I love my own space. And I'm by myself all the time. And I'm good. I travel by myself and everything. So if you're the person that I want to share my space with, and when we're doing nothing, but you're the person I want to do that nothing with, like every time when we be like, oh, I'm going to the store, it's like, oh, when we going, and y'all do things together and it's natural. Um, and you can't really, it's just like a natural, automatic, and you grow together because you've been together maybe for, because it happens in friendships, and it's just like friendships and relationships. There's a difference between some are for seasons, reasons, and a lifetime. Those lifetime connections, y'all grow together because nobody who's alive and growing stays the same. If you're not growing, you dead in all categories. So if y'all are meant to be, y'all gonna grow together. So that's when it's the one or the soulmate, in my opinion, because it's the person that you have a genuine connection with. They more so, like for me, relationships, especially now, it's more so of we friends, we get along really good. If I'm thinking about a relationship now, a situation, that's totally different. We have an understanding. And my understanding with situations is you not getting there's no emotions, there's no tie, because when, for me, if it's a situation and you allow yourself to become emotionally vulnerable to someone and y'all don't have any agreement to be together, then you setting yourself up for hurt and failure. If you don't have a commitment with somebody, and it hasn't been agreed that we go together, like Raphael said, then I'm not even going there. And I only can speak for me. I've learned that lesson where I don't put too much of myself into a situation before there's an agreement or before there's an understanding that we're together. When I was younger, you like the guy, you like head over heels, all, you know, and y'all never had a conversation. And it kind of points to what Stephen was saying, especially with younger women, or I'll say for myself, when I was younger, we never had no conversations. You never said you was my man. I done gave you the full service. I'm treating you like you my man. I'm cooking for you, clean. I'm all in your space. And then when stuff go wrong, it's like, but we ain't even together. You hurt your own feelings. You hurt your own feelings because you think about it and like, yeah, we really hadn't had that commitment. So that's the difference between my 20s and my 40s. We ain't had no conversation. We saying we kicking it. You saying, oh, I just want a friend. Okay, friend. I know what friend mean. So, okay. But you don't, I just don't set myself up like that no more. And for me to say, maybe going to find the one or a soulmate, that's based on friendship for me, because that would be somebody that I would want to, you know, share space with. Everything is like natural and organic. We want to be together and we're attracted to each other. It works out. But that's it.
So, Miss Carter, did you just say that you were settling?
No, I'm not settling. I said
Oh.
no. What I heard was when several people said, you know, when you get to a point and you make a decision that you want to settle down, get married, and is not per se that person is the one you wanted forever, or that's the person you wanted to be with. It was like, oh, this is the person that I'm with right now, and I've decided that I want to be married, I want to be committed. So I'm just, and you've been with me during this period of time, then I'm choosing you. I'm making a decision to be with you, but that is separate from the one, and that's separate from soulmate for me. It just sounded like a whole bunch of decisions. But again, you got to decide in a commitment. You got to decide to stay with that person when they make you mad. You got to decide that you're going to honor your vows whenever things going wrong. It's a whole bunch of decisions. So I'm not saying for men or women who do things based on I've made a decision, because their marriages could possibly last longer because they are committed to the decision that they made. But that is still totally different from me saying you're my soulmate and you're my one. They're not one. They're not the same for me. For me, they're not the same. So
Ralph has her hand up.
So I kind of want to clarify, even though she didn't ask me to, but I wanted to for Tizvon, because I just didn't want it to seem like she was saying like fairy tale, like it's just happy go lucky. So I wanted to give the example of me and Candace. So I've known Candace, I don't even know how long, like since we were two. Okay, since two.
Second grade, sorry. I'm trying.
Okay. We haven't always been together. And when I mean together, like there's been period of times in our lives where we haven't been in contact, but then somehow, like how you said, we come back. It's like there's a connection. And so we come back around, and then we might, go off and do our own things and then come back around. But to me, this is my soulmate. This part of my soul tribe. When you have someone like that, when they correct you, when they help you elevate, it doesn't feel like an attack, because there is no question about, does this person rock with me? Does this person love me? Does this person have my back? It's so hard because we have gotten so used to the unnecessarily toxic hard of relationships, and we say, oh, we doing the hard part of marriage. No, that's toxic marriage. This right here, what me and Candace do, where I'm telling her something and she's crying, and when she's checking me and my feelings are ate up, but I know she loved me, and that just moved me to another level. Like how we said, we're growing together, we're elevating together, but it's not to the part where she's doing some shady stuff behind my back. I'm talking about her behind her back. Those are toxic relationships. But people say, I know Candace in second grade. This is a soul tribe situation to where she can bear her soul to me and I see her. She doesn't have to put on a mask. I'm not asking her to put on a mask. She can be her full-on self with me. And I'm not, girl, you're doing too much. Girl, can you simmer down some? Can you cater to my feelings? Can you cater to my insecurities? I'm not asking for her to do none of that because I've already accepted her for who she is. So like how you said, it's not settling, right? Because if we want to go with Timo said, if we want to bring God into this, and we're supposed to love our neighbors like how they are, then again, we don't need the mask. We don't need the sugarcoat. We don't need I need you to taper that down. You're not accepting me for my authentic self. And the more authentic we are, the higher to God we are. Because God wants, yes. So I'm not asking Candace, can you simmer yourself for me, for my insecurities, for my jealousy, for my lack, so then I can be content in who I am, where I can take her light. And for the people who are dating, I feel like that's a good question to ask people. Will my light offend you? Because we all have our light, and some people can't take your light. Might be just a little bit brighter than theirs at that moment. But that's what I feel like a soul connection is, to where we can go through the hard parts together, and it's with love.
Can I add to that? Because what you said.
Yeah, because when they light is brighter than yours, throw some shades on.
The shades.
And it's the truth. Everything she just said, I agree with. Put some shades on, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I date in the gutter. I don't need nobody with all this and that.
Say in the gutter?
Yeah, that's why I date what's in the gutter, because everything she just said, I agree with. When you with somebody and you take and you grow with them, and they're able to take and check you, and you can sit and open up to them and not feel embarrassed or anything because they're correcting you, and you can do the same to them, that's y'all growing together, y'all elevating together. And with that, that's what you call a power couple. That's what that's a. They say when another person light shines too bright, don't hate, just move out the way or throw these stunner shades on so you can see.
Shine your light on me, because we can grow, we can get lit together. How about that?
But that also speaks to iron sharpens iron.
And so I was going to say, all that you said lends itself to emotional health and self-awareness, because you can't really receive love. Honestly, you can't receive love, because love is corrective, as you both are saying. But if you're not in the right space emotionally and you really aren't self-aware, you can't receive it. Sitting with yourself and figuring out who you are is an ugly thing. It's not pretty. It's because you see the things that you don't like about yourself just as much as you see the things that you love, but it's a mindset thing. You can see the ugly and know that you can make it pretty, make it beautiful, or you can sit in it and woe is me, all that. No, it's a mindset. It's anybody can do it. It's just going back to the decisions. Do you decide, are you going to make a decision to change what you don't like? Because that trickles into every area of your life, not just relationships, your work, your everything. So